Hello, I'm Josh with Mark Hodges here of Grand Rapids Comic Con. And this is the third year of the convention, and it has grown to a huge number. And we're here to ask you a few questions.
Sure, I'd love to talk about it.
From what you see from the pre-orders from this year and the turnout from previous years, do you think attendance is going to go sharply like the past, or do you believe it's the angle of how far it's going up will kind of slow down? Or
Well, sooner or later, it's got to slow down because they can't be doing a 100% increase in attendance every year. 5 years will be bigger than any show in the country. But it's going to slow down, and but it doesn't look like it's going to this year. This year, it looks like we're going to have another increase of attendance of 40 to 50% growth, which is extremely unusual. Most cons grow at about 10. So our numbers have been really solid. It's starting to really turn into a serious event, which is wonderful to see.
yeah, so many people in so many different costumes.
Yes, and that's what makes it fun, That's why I tell people, why would I go to this thing? I said, go do the people watching alone. Bring a camera. I said, you get so many unique photo ops.
Yeah.
If that's the only reason you go. That's a great reason to go. Just bring your camera and shoot pictures with it. All kinds of odd stuff. And people.
How did the guest appearance list grown for the preparation of this year?
Well, this year we've had a little bad luck because Dennis Crane had to cancel because he has a documented health issue, and all this stuff, unfortunately, we can document. So it's not like somebody just goofing us over. Greg Ellis had to cancel. Again, something that was out of his control. And Walter Jones was delayed, although he got here on time, which I thought was interesting. His mother passed away. Chris Yambar canceled. Again, he had major heart surgery, and he's laying at home recovering. Tony Isabella canceled because he had major dental surgery. He has his mouth wired shut. He's sitting at home recovering. So, and all this we've seen documented. It's not like any of them are giving me a line of hooky. So we've had a little bad luck this year, but generally speaking, a lot of other people are in right now and things are going really well. Things are happening and it's good. So, and one other, Amber Goldfarb got delayed in terms of her plane appearance. She's going to miss her panel, but nothing I can do about that one at this point either. So,
Well, a pretty good list for this year. We have Walter Jones,
right?
Yeah, the original
Black Power Ranger.
Black Power Ranger. We also have the stuntman for Boba Fett.
Right.
From
Dickie Beer.
Yeah. Who would be your dream guest appearance to bring to the show?
Well, it never happened because he's dead. Vincent Price. I would say Vincent Price. The reason I would say that is because I love the B-movie stuff, and he is about as legendary as it comes. And that would be something I would love to meet someday, but of course, that's not going to happen. He's been gone for 30 years, 40 years, something like that. Been gone since the 80s, so 30 years.
Who would be one that's currently alive right now?
I am a guy who watches film, and I actually one of those weirdos actually study it a little bit. That's why I try to bring in like a major film guy every year, like we brought in the Asylum producer, Mr. Bales last year, Paul Bales, excuse me. Roger Corman to be somebody I'd love to have. I'd love to have Roger Corman. And from a different perspective, another thing I would love to have would be John Williams. In terms of writing music for movies, him and Rodgers and Hammerstein are probably the greatest names in the history of the field. So, and I can't think of anybody who could top John Williams in terms of symphonic stuff, past, present, or probably future. He's about as great as it comes. You win 29 Academy Awards, that speaks for itself. If you won 29 Academy Awards, you don't have to defend your work.
Earlier this year, you had Nerd Prom and Grasp. Are you going to continue working on those for the years to come?
Both of those are not going to happen in 2016. The reason for that is really simple. They were both not attended like we thought they were going to be. Grasp, for some reason, people just did not get it. I don't understand what it didn't, but people just did not understand it. They didn't get the concept of it at all. And the prom was just really underattended. I mean, there was only about 130 people that actually attended it. So, and you know, at the financial end of it, that makes it rough on us. So I just could not, I can't jeopardize the con to do the smaller events. We got to keep the major of the con going. So what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate those events for 16. All we're going to do next year is the Grand Rapids Comic Con. That's it. And being in the new building and that has gone really smooth this year so far. But this is a project. I mean, this is not something you just say okay and sit down and plan a week. I mean, literally. Monday when the show's over Sunday, Monday I got to put everything away for the following year. Tuesday I will sleep, and pretty much the whole day. I probably will just turn the phone off and disappear for a day. Wednesday, we go back to work, and we will start on 16 right off the bat. Things like things we can do, wrap up the books for 15, collect the Ticketmaster money. I think we get that on Wednesday. At least I hope I do. So that's pretty good. There'll be a lot going on.
Would you like to work on them again in later years?
We are going to start a second convention type of thing in the spring, probably March or April. That's not going to happen, though, until probably 2017 at the least. The reason for that is we're going to need a year to sort of plan, and we're going to need to start over with that. We're basically starting over with a lot of the staffing as well. We're in a sort of a weird position because the show was originally started by myself and a bunch of people who work in the anime fields, work in the anime shows, which are much, much smaller shows. Exception to Yumicon, a big one is 5,000 people. I mean, we pushed that through the door. We pushed that through the door easily just today, probably a lot more. And for a lot of them, it just got overwhelming. A lot of them got overwhelmed with it. It's just such a big project. There's so many working parts, and it's going to get even more complicated. So what we're doing now is we're transitioning the staff from amateur to professional. And basically what we're doing now is we're bringing in people who actually organize downtown events, to organize this right. And so far it's working out really well. This is the first year we really have done that. And logistics, which has worked out really well, it's been wonderful. Todd Ernest has handled that wonderfully. And Lori Shaw and Anisha Latter have handled the guest relations and have done really well with that too, despite all the hiccups this year. So.
Yeah, so have some of the people that were on the original group that helped to make the first Comic-Con, have some of them stuck around through this and
I'm trying to count how many. There aren't very many left. 2. Which would be Sarah Gensterblum, who handles our staffing and our con ops and that, and she's fantastic. She's utterly fantastic. And Brian Haskin, who runs our gaming room, and he's run our gaming since the beginning, and he runs the gaming room so well I don't even have to look at it. So there's no reason to change that one. I mean, you know, when you want to bring people in to run stuff, you want to bring people in that run it. Michelle White, who runs our costume contest, is still with us, but she's leaving at the end of this show. So we'll miss her.
You go through a lot of stress, a lot of work, and a lot of sleepless nights to get to finish these great conventions.
Thank you.
And what would you give? What advice would you give to somebody that's considering about throwing their hat into this type of field?
Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. The big thing you have to do is you're going to have to be a very well-rounded business person, because a lot of people look at these cons and go, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. I can do that. It's not. It's fun, but it's not fun, if you know what I mean. It's a business, and it has to be treated as such. So you need to have a lot of skills that you would not expect to do for a convention, such as understanding logistics, an accountant. You need to understand law, because believe me, you will use it. You will be surprised how many people you will have to deal with, attorneys and things like that. You'll be surprised, especially if your show gets remotely financially successful. There will be somebody who will be after you for it. You have to understand accounting. You have to understand insurance law. That's another one. You got to understand what kind of insurance to buy and what you need to buy and what you need to have available to you. You also need to understand employment law. You need, because especially if you're starting one in Michigan, the law now is if you're a for-profit organization, you have to pay everybody. Everybody in this building for us is being paid. Everybody, no exceptions. Everybody's paid. And in terms of staff, everybody's paid. And when everybody's paid, it is, it's rough. So, ask Morgan Colin from Umicon how much his bill is for staff this year. He shared me what he was paying. I just about passed out.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he has third shift. So I don't have a third shift yet. I probably will next year. And I'll be doing his kind of numbers next year. And I wanted to cry when I saw his financial sheets. So, oh my gosh. And the other thing is prepare to lose money for 2 to 3 years. Even though the last one was a big amount of people, we didn't make any real money on it. We really didn't. And, which is one of those things. So